Wow.
Orange Bananas! We're live. Woo! How you doing?
I'm good. I can't see you, so I'm gonna take these off.
Yeah, I'll take these off.
But
just for the intro.
I had to have them on for the intro.
Of course.
But I want to see you.
What time is it where you're in Croatia
What's
right
up?
now? I'm doing good. You're in Croatia, right?
Croatia, yes. It's 8 p.m. right now. It's dark outside.
What time do you usually go to bed? Am I keeping you up?
Oh yeah, this is, long past my bedtime. No, I go to bed at midnight.
You eat dinner at 2
Midnight,
p.m.?
1 a.m., 2 a.m.
You're a young old person.
Depends. Am I keeping you up?
At 2 p.m.? Well, you're keeping my roommate up, who just is still asleep from last night.
Dude, wake him up, dude. Wake him up.
I had to because he has the one with his room has the Ethernet in it, and I don't trust my Wi-Fi, so I had to wake him up so that way I could like run this 100-foot Ethernet cable from my room to his. Oh my lord!
I should do that. My Wi-Fi here sucks. But anyways, go on.
No, I was just gonna say hi to everyone who's watching. I appreciate it as always. We have Carl Taylor II and Ian Miller, the original Vibe Chamber fans. They're like the most supportive people, and they're always typing questions. Ian Miller is in Edinburgh. Incredible. Scotland. I think it's like,
Right.
I think he said it's like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. It's very late there. Something like that.
right.
So appreciate
Is there
you.
a way I can see the questions in the chat? Should I go on YouTube and just...
If you went to YouTube, you could watch them. I don't have a way to like really show them to you, but I'm going to be reading them too. So, but you can read them right off YouTube.
All
And
right,
we
that's fine. Yeah, I don't want to mess up the Wi-Fi, so I'm just gonna listen to you.
Yeah, well, let me get right into it because Carl Taylor has a question, and I always try to go. Carl is always the first person with a question. So, it's 7 p.m. in Scotland. Still, that's legit. That's legitimate fandom. There's not many people I would watch a late night stream for, so I appreciate it. Carl says, "What's the most embarrassing thing that happened to both of you on stage?"
I have one, but it does not include you, Scotty.
No, I think it means. Well, I don't know if he means us at the same time or just like it's a question for both of us. I don't know what he means.
You did play the gig. But there was one time when it was an Augie Bello show, I think. No, it was Dialed. I think we were Dialed.
Okay.
Anyway, Dialed is a band that Scotty and I play in with our friend Augie Bello and Martin Shapiro. And we had a gig at the Bitter End in New York City, and it was I think it was like September or October, doesn't matter. But we had so much stuff because we wanted to record the performance, right? So we had 2 cameras, 2 tripods, microphones, and just so much equipment. And I had my bass on me, and we decided to bring all that to the Bitter End, which was like 15 blocks or 20 blocks. So it was a mess, and we were so tired. And we went up to Augie's, and he lives on the 6th floor of an apartment building, right? It's a 6th floor walk up. And I was like, I'm not bringing all this up. I have my bass, which is so heavy, and we had the cameras and the tripods and everything. So I was like, I'm going to leave my bass behind under the stairs, on the first flight of stairs. I'm just going to pick it up on the way out. And 30 minutes later, we have to go to the gig. It's like we're running late. We're running with all this stuff. And we come back downstairs, and my bass is gone. It's like I have to play a gig in 30 minutes. We have all this shit that we brought with us to record everything so we can put it up on YouTube and stuff. And I don't have my bass. So we go to the Bitter End. I'm like, I get a headache immediately because I'm so stressed out. And we just end up not knowing what to do. And we get to the Bitter End, and I'm like asking, performers before us or after us, do you have a bass I can borrow? It's just like I need to play on something. And they're like, no, we don't have anything. So I call my friend Dom, and I actually run to my school, which is like 15 blocks, and take his bass and play on his bass. And then the amp didn't work too. It
Oh,
was
that
just
was the
like
show where you
it was like
plugged
the
in.
worst.
Did it not work at all, or is it just really distorted? I couldn't remember.
It was really distorted, so they decided not to turn it on. Right.
Oh, see, I remember
So
that because
it
you
was
couldn't
just
hear
like,
yourself.
I couldn't hear myself at all. I was just bluffing the whole time. I was hoping I was playing the right notes. And I was going through the DI, so I could just hear rumbling and feel rumbling, but it was like I couldn't hear myself at all. And it was just, that night was definitely the most embarrassing night. Maybe not on the outside, but for me, it was just like. And later on, I did find my bass, so I didn't lose the bass. But some lady from the building took it because in that area I put my bass in is called the exchange area, where you put stuff you don't want, and then they take it. That's right. So she just pretended that she took it from the exchange area, but
Yeah, the exchange
I got
area.
the bass.
I mean, look, my apartment doesn't have an exchange area, so I can't like objectively say that they don't exist, but I will say subjectively that that's bullshit. I mean, I don't know for sure.
Know. As soon as we got to the bitter end, the Dan Casio doorman or whatever the hell he is, but he said, "Are you stupid? Of course they're gonna take your base." And he lives. I guess he lived in New York City since forever. But
so is he saying that there actually is a such thing as an exchange area? Is he just saying they stole it?
No, he's saying that. First of all, they probably stole it, and that it's so normal. That's so normal for New York City that I'm stupid for doing it, which I agree. But then I said, no, they said it's the exchange. They said it's the exchange area. I mean, I said, Dan, I put it in the exchange area. He said, yeah, obviously every building has that. So I guess the buildings do have that.
I mean,
I don't know. It was my mistake in the end, so I'm not blaming anyone.
Maybe there is a such thing. Though. Yeah, I mean, thank God, because you would be that would have been an awful rest of that year if you lost that bass.
I know, it's my favorite bass, and I don't have it right now.
Is it in the city?
I'll get to it.
What bass do you have with you?
Actually.
Oh, really? Oh, it's in one of the lockers?
Yes.
Well, you still have that, I think, till next year.
I think so. Yeah, I'll be back by then, I hope.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm gonna ask one of you guys to pick it up for me.
I'll do it. I'm fine.
So let's hope I'm back. Yeah.
Well, it's like
what's
20.
Your story? That's the question.
Oh, jeez. There have been. Oh, I'll tell you exactly what it was. So when I was in high school, I worked for this regional theater company, and it was my first job for them, and we were doing hairspray. And hairspray is basically very, very stereotypical 1960s music. So like doom, 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 like all that kind of stuff. And that's how the opening to the show is me going like this with the kick drum, doom, 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 and I do it for like 4 bars because it's like as they're doing it, there's like city sounds and there's like people walking in. It's literally the first thing you hear. So I do that, and I do it twice. I go doom, 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 and then boom. And on the third one, the drum, the beater goes straight through the head and gets stuck.
Oh.
And so it just goes doom, 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 boom, and silence. And there's nothing else. And I still have to play for 2 more bars, and then the band has to come in. So I don't know how much time I had to think about this, but I thought, what if I just kick the drum? Maybe that'll make enough sound. So I kick it as hard as freaking possible, okay? And I thought that it would just make sound. It didn't make sound. But what happened was when I kicked it, since I kicked so hard, it pushed the kick drum out. The beater fell out of the hole that it like smashed into it, and then shifted and like landed next to it. Just enough so I could play the rest of the show on like the side, like instead of hitting the center, I was hitting the side. It was the most embarrassing for like 2 seconds, and then the most fortunate thing that could have ever happened, because the worst case scenario is that it just would have been silence, or I would have had to like play on another drum or something, and I don't think I could do that whole show without a kick drum. So that was probably it.
Yeah, but how would you get a different drum if it broke? It would take you like 5 minutes.
There is no way because it was the only drum I had there, and I was young. I was a real amateur. So, um, so like I didn't have extra drum heads. I was a kid. I think I was 12 when I did my first regional show.
Yep.
And so, so ever since then, I had like emergency drum heads right next to me. I have extra snares, so in case like a snare breaks, I don't have to change the head. And then for the kick drum, I had like, I think my father like made this drum head that had tape on it, so I could just really quickly like smack it over the other one just to get enough sound for the rest of a show if it were to happen again.
Yep.
And it never happened again. But that was probably it. I don't think I had any others that are like tremendously embarrassing because I don't tend to get embarrassed when I mess up. I tend to just laugh. But that one was like,
Yeah,
that's it.
somehow it just works out. Whenever it goes down, it comes up somehow. And it's pretty quick for me. I was fortunate to not have anything that was like the mic didn't work and then you can't sing for the rest of the night. There was always a solution of some kind.
Yeah. There's
That
always
kind
something.
of worked out in the end. It wasn't as good. But that's a good question. Who asked that? Ian?
That was
Or
Carl Taylor. Ian does have a question though. Before I ask Ian's question, I'm just gonna go and just say the non-questions, just say who else is here. Augie Bello says he's your biggest fan, Orange Banana. And George,
Thank you very much, Augie.
George Collins says, "How we doing, boys? Do you guys know Augie Bello?" No, I don't know.
Hello, George. Hello, Augie. Hey, everyone who's watching.
I don't know Augie Bello. I'm sorry, I don't know pseudonyms.
Who is that kid?
Probably a Tom Misch ripoff. Or a what would a good description of Augie Bello be as inspiration? Well, no, not. I'm thinking as a singer, Tom Misch, or a what's his name from Yellow Jackets?
He's definitely Kenny G.
Kenny G.
Wanna be Kenny G.
No, Kenny G wants to be Augie Bello.
You know?
I think that's
right.
I think that's more accurate. But who the hell am I thinking of? Freaking the saxophone player, the dude who has that Brecker, Michael Brecker.
Oh, Michael Brecker. Brecker. Yeah.
That's the best way to describe Augie Bello. Imagine if Augie Bello is if Michael Brecker played more like poppy stuff with a band with a terrible drummer. That take you a minute?
It took me a minute to laugh because I didn't expect it.
You gotta self-diss every once in a while.
To solve it for everyone, Scotty is the drummer in the band. That's why he said it.
Sorry, I just had to
make
make some.
Bad.
Grazie.
He's definitely not a bad drummer.
Not a great one either. Ian Miller does have a question. I'm sorry, I always end up just shitting on myself when I have nothing better to say. How did you come up with the name OrangeBananas? Is there a story? I was actually going to ask you that later on, but thank you, Ian, for getting out of the way.
Well, there's no story behind it, to be honest. It's just I was Steph Z for a while, and I just hated that for many, many reasons. But it was just like that's been done. Like Cardi B, Kenny G. It's just like there's so many people who've done that before. So I was like, Augie B. Yeah, I was like, it's corny, right? So I decided to change it when I was like 20 or something. And I was like, I want to make something that's so stupid that everyone's gonna remember immediately. So I wanted something memorable, and I liked colors for some reason, and colors are very connected to fruit, right? So I wanted to find a combination of,
I love the string of logic.
You can't be but you can't be orange, you can't be the banana. You have to be something unusual, right?
The banana sounds really inappropriate.
Slightly unusual. Yeah, I just made myself Orange Bananas because there's no such thing as Orange Bananas. And to be honest, I didn't know if it was gonna work. I just kind of bluffed, right? And then as soon as I started playing gigs, people are like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Orange Bananas." They're like, "What?" I go, "Orange Bananas." Like, no, no. What's your like stage? Like, what's your what? Like, they were so freaking confused that the next time they came, they're like, "Oh, Orange Bananas," and I'm like, "Yep, that it's working." Like,
Yeah.
as soon as one person said, "Oh, you're Orange Bananas," after I told them I was, it was like, "Yep, it works."
It's a great name because it's nice and easy to remember, you know?
Yeah, it's
Um,
memorable, and the branding possibilities and marketing possibilities are just infinite. Just like the colors and the combinations and the jokes, and there's so much you could do with it. And it's not the it's not the most creative name, but I think it works well for me.
which producer you think has the coolest name?
Uh, I don't know.
It doesn't have to be clever. Just
Some
like, who do you think has like a cool name? I guess it's based more on the shtick rather than just the name, but I like Marshmallow. I like his whole, like, the fact that he's like a character, kind of like Dead Mouse,
That's
but I like the
genius. I think
Marshmallow character.
Marshmallow is genius.
Food related
Yeah, because
topics
no one
work.
has anything like that. Yeah, and
Hmm.
it's how do you connect a food and a mask? That's genius. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'd like it's a production duo, I think, or a trio, Monsters and Strangers.
I don't know them.
That's so it's like it's not they make songs for I think Lady Gaga or
Hmm.
a bunch of people. But for what's the most famous Zed song? The
Uh,
middle,
yeah.
right? They made a song. They made the middle. I mean, they wrote it and kind of produced it, and they were like, "We need to give this to someone to make it a huge hit." So they gave it to Zed. Then
Hmm.
he found a singer for it, and now it's huge. But they actually made the song before Zed made it famous, so they're
I really
pretty
like that
cool. But I
story.
think Monsters and Strangers is yeah, but Monsters and Strangers is a good name. I like that.
Hmm. Um,
Yeah.
Martin Shapiro has a question that I didn't see because his profile picture from this
Hello,
distance
Martin.
it looks very similar to George Collins's profile picture. So I didn't it blended in for a second. But he asked, "How are your oranges and banana feeling today?" Martin.
They're feeling good. I have them right here. You see?
Great answer.
Right.
OrangeBananas.com. Is that your website? I don't know what your actual website is.
Oh yeah, Orange Bananas music. Orange Banana was taken, and I would
OrangeBananasmusic.com.
have to pay $5,000, so I gave up on it.
Do you have orange bananas? Like, is there like an orange banana shop on the website?
I do actually. It's on Teespring.
Teespring.com slash orange
Teespring.com
bananas music. Orange bananas music.
music. I don't know. I think so. Yeah,
Let me,
you could buy some merch. Just plain white tees with my logo.
let's see. Let's go over
Make
here.
me happy.
Can you see my screen?
One sec. Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's see.
Let's see it.
Orange
I think it's on
bananas
Teespring.
music Teespring. Oh, I just Teespring.
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 No, that's just my website. No, it's down
Oh,
there.
I see it.
It's
I
down
saw it.
there.
Oh,
Orange
oh,
Banana Store.
oh yeah. I want to see this.
Yep. All right.
I want.
Everyone who's watching, go on there and make me happy.
I have never seen your
That's
merch.
right.
I have actually legitimately never seen this. Let me see.
It's
Let's
very
see.
generic, if I'm being honest.
No, you got to sell it. You can't just. You have to have enthusiasm.
Oh, it's not generic at all. It's so unique, and it's cheap.
We're
It's actually
grinding.
cheap.
Kids and babies. You have baby products. Did you choose
I
what?
don't know if I have baby product.
Okay, why is it? Oh, you don't. That's why it's not. Okay,
I don't
I
have
guess it just
anything yet for
lists
kids.
homeware, bedding. Yo, can I get a?
I mean,
would
would you want to have kid-friendly merch?
That's kind of
It's kind
weird.
of weird.
That's kind of strange. I don't think I could ever do that.
Yeah, I
Slap.
don't know if
Oh,
anyone does have kid-friendly merch.
I
Maybe they
like
do.
this. How have I never seen your merch?
Yeah, the sticker.
I have never seen your
Yeah, I
merch,
don't
and I feel
even
like a bad friend.
know. It's
I
like
also haven't.
why would you want to buy my merch? I would have to give you merch. I want to give you merch. I just don't
Wait,
have any right now.
I still haven't gotten my Orange Bananas or Augie Bello merch, and I'm quite disappointed, to be honest. I'd be repping it. I'd be walking around.
We should give you we should just comp you some merch. You don't need to buy that.
That's what I'm saying. I want my free Orange Bananas merch and my Augie
Oh
Bello
yeah. Oh,
merch.
this way. Whatever you just did, I can see the comments. I can see the questions. Like if you have it on screen,
Oh, it's because I'm sharing my
I can
screen.
see.
I also have a song
Is
queued
that
up for you that you might be able to hear now.
cool? Let's
I'd like
hear
to
it.
play this for you. This is in honor of your hometown. Can you hear it?
Oh yes, baby.
Gorgeous. Incredible.
It's pretty good, I have to say. I mean,
Yeah, I
I've
really
never
like
heard
it.
a bad anthem, to be honest. Have you heard a bad anthem? No.
Not that I can think of.
They're always epic.
Yeah, they're very good. I like anthems.
Oh, they're always epic and simple.
Mhm.
Who writes those?
I'm actually
You
not
know?
sure. I don't know who wrote your anthem. Okay, pause, share.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I've never met anyone.
Yeah.
You don't write anthems anymore. That's done.
That's true. I guess that's
Those
not
are
really
written.
that's no one's like there's no famous anthem composers. Oh Lord, my camera. Oh no,
It's not like
my camera's being weird. Stievko. Orange Bananas.
bugging out.
Me scoozy.
I
There we go.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Hello?
hear you. It's not
Hello?
you. It's oh no. It's not you, it's me.
It's not you. It's me.
I always have
We have the same brain, dude.
I know.
We have the same things in our mind.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Okay, I think I
Funny.
should be working now. There's some stupid thing that that this software does. I always run into problems as soon as I start streaming. I'll do like all these practicing stuff and I'll be like, "Oh, it's working great. Everything's fine." And then I do it live and it's like, "No, it's not anymore." So,
Is it the internet or just the
no,
software?
no.
or
It's
whatever?
whenever you have a bunch of inputs running live, they're just like they just never work as they're supposed to. So, it's a shame.
Yep,
But I think we're good. Can we see?
that's good.
Yeah. Okay. We're
I
nice
just
and
want to thank Martin Shapiro for the question. Very inspiring and thoughtful. Thank you, Martin.
Yes, thank you, Martin. It was incredible. Okay, so now let's get into now that we got all that out of the way, got the Croatian national anthem out of the way. Let's get into some real questions. You know, I think of you mostly as a producer. When I think of my homie Orange Bananas, I think Can you shut up? There's someone screaming right outside my window. Oh, Lord. If that ain't New York City for you. But you are originally a bassist. Is that a fact? I'd say that's a fact.
I guess you can say so. Yeah, I started playing bass first. That's how I got into music, to be honest. But now I think of myself more of a producer and songwriter too.
Well, before we get into the whole production phase of your career, how did you start playing the bass?
Yeah. I was in a choir in my elementary school. So I started singing and my teacher was like, "Yeah, you're going to be the lead or whatever." Anyway, there was a guy in the same choir that heard me sing and he was like, "We have a rock band." It was like a metal band or whatever. "We want you to come in and try to sing for us." And it was like so crazy that I was trying to sing. Like I had no voice. I couldn't sing at all. But
Yeah.
at that rehearsal, I saw this guy playing bass, right? So it was just like the guitar is boring. They're so loud and distorted. The drums, I can't bring that into my house. Like my mom is gonna kill me, right? And the piano, everyone plays keys. So I was just like, this instrument that's producing this huge, like bass sound.
Mhm.
I need to play this, right? So I was like, I want to try it. And I asked the kid, can I try it? And I just found it so interesting and fun because you play it and like the whole room would shake and your whole body would feel it. So I was like, I want to play this. So I came home and I was like, Dad, I want to study electric bass. And he was like, what? I said electric bass. He was like, why would you want to? Anyways, he said okay, and he bought me a bass that was like $200 or something, like 250. He was like,
Mhm.
just have this and let's see what happens, right?
Mhm.
And I actually bought it, and as soon as I bought it, my friend told me about this bass teacher in Croatia. I mean, in my hometown, that was just incredible. So I started taking lessons and everything, and I was playing like 6-7 hours a day. I was 13 actually. I
Mhm.
wasn't that young. And I was just playing every day. Every day I was like transcribing and imitating the Red Hot Chili Peppers and like
Ooh.
so many bands that were just like, and bass players that were just incredible. But I knew
Mhm.
the Red Hot Chili Peppers were definitely my favorite. I knew every song. Like I would just
Really?
go album by album, just play song by song. I knew every single song from
Really?
it, and it was just incredible.
Was it a
And
particular
uh, and
album
I
or just
learned how to fill.
was it a particular album or is it just kind of
Stadium
general?
Arcadium,
Yeah.
definitely,
Incredible.
definitely. Like that whole thing with John Frusciante was insane. I mean, I heard he's coming back actually
He is. He's
with
coming
the
back
Red
on
Hot Chili
tour.
Peppers, but
Yeah.
not important. But everything that they made with him, I think, is just a masterpiece. So I
Mhm.
knew every song and I learned how to fill because that's what Flea does mostly. It's just he comes up with a bass line and then later on he just does the same thing but fills, and those fills were just I dreamt about fills. So that was my first learning experience with the bass. And until I was 14, I didn't pick up anything else. And then I discovered GarageBand, my dad's MacBook Pro.
Mhm.
And we went skiing, and it was just like 5-6 p.m. We came back from skiing and everything. So I was just sitting there eating dinner, and I was just like trying to find something on the computer that I would have fun with. So I
Mhm.
saw this little guitar logo, right? So I was
Mhm.
like, this has to be something fun. Like, what is this thing? So I opened it up and I figured out after a good amount of time, like an hour of looking at it, I noticed you could play drums on it. So I was
with
like,
the musical keyboard.
holy shit, this is with the musical keyboard, right? On the computer keyboard.
Mhm.
So my dad came back and I was just like banging on the thing, just like going crazy playing drums and everything. And then I noticed you can play every instrument on it. So I started to get into that and make songs, and I would sing them, and I would make songs in Croatian and English. And that was kind
Mhm.
of my production start. It started pretty early, honestly, 14. I think I was 14 and a half
I
or
had
whatever. But I didn't get seriously involved with it until 17, until I bought um, Logic Pro.
that was exactly what
But
happened.
yeah,
My
you were saying?
my friend Ben had we used to hang out all the time and I had at my house, my mom had this like awful HP laptop. And
Yeah.
and I had like like the that like 90s off-white colored computer. You know what I'm talking about? Like the
Oh yeah.
basic Windows
Yep.
computer. I had
Yep.
that. And so there was nothing musical about any of that type of equipment. You did not make music on that if you
Yep.
didn't like know how to do it already. And so I'd go to my friend Ben's house and he showed me GarageBand. And I was like, he was playing on his keyboard. And I was like, what? How are you doing this? And he's like, oh, it has this thing called, you go up to window, musical typing. And it
Yep.
was like the same thing that you said. It blew my mind.
Insane.
And so I thought that musical
Insane.
typing was like a term that wasn't just with GarageBand. So I remember going home on my mom's laptop and just looking up like musical typing for Windows. That was the thing that absolutely blew my mind and got me into it. And the same thing was right before I went to college. I bought Logic 9. Did you get Logic 9? Did you get Logic 10?
Yeah. I got Logic 10 because my dad got a new laptop, so he had
Mm-hmm.
the new MacBook Pro, I think from 2013,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he just had that, and I looked up best music software for Mac, and just Logic Pro X just came up, so I just decided to buy it right away, and it just blew my mind because I knew like as soon as I found out the possibilities and the sounds, and it was like downloading sounds 46 gigabytes. I was like, Jesus, what is that? And I was just waiting impatiently just to see what's behind that um, door because I didn't know how much there is. Like I knew there was GarageBand and there was music and that you could play on your computer and make it. And the most fun part was playing it back. You make
Mm-hmm.
something and then you go to the beginning and you play back and it's like it doesn't matter how shitty it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's mine and that's why I liked it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like every day
intoxicating.
I would make something and it was like this is good. Like this is it's not the best, but it's mine and it's good.
Yeah.
Like I knew objectively how good it was, but subjectively it was just the best thing I could possibly listen to. And I don't know if that's a sin. It might be, but it was just even to this day when I listen to something that's not that commercial, that's not that, accepted,
Mm-hmm.
if I may say, it's like it's mine and I'm listening back to it and it's like I love doing this. That's the
Don't
point.
don't you think that that's kind of like you kind of have to have that level of narcissism, I think. If you're going to be any form of person who creates something in a public eye, you have to think of what you do.
I think so.
Yeah, you have to kind of think of what you
I
do as
think
being
so. I
like
think
better.
yeah, I think can you imagine, being Morgan Freeman or someone like that? Like when
Yeah.
you talk into the microphone and you listen back and it's like, damn, like this is like I sound so good. I want to know how Morgan Freeman hears his
Yeah, if he
voice
has that if
because it's like
because people naturally don't like the sound of their voice and I wonder that's a good point. Does he
but he
have
has
that?
to like it.
Yeah, you
Like he
can't.
has no, he has to like it. It's so good.
You
It's
can't
so
not like the
good is
sound
what
of
I'm
his
saying.
voice.
That's right. That's right. So he has to be just like listening to it and it's like, "Oh yeah." Like this is insane. Like he has to like it,
I
right?
just
That's why
picture
he's doing it. That's
I
what
was
I'm
picturing
saying.
Morgan Freeman just sitting in his house like, "Oh yeah." Just like listening to the sound of his own voice in his headphones
And like saying it like lip syncing to it
to
and he's like,
himself. Oh my lord. Well,
yeah.
if I ever get
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman on here, I'll ask him that. I'll ask him if he likes the sound of his own voice because I don't think I've ever heard. I've never. That's a
Yeah.
good question. There's a couple people like that I
Right?
think. Let's see, Morgan Freeman. Um, I've always thought Howard Stern had a really cool voice because it's so
That's
low.
yeah. I mean, it's just unique. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's unique. I mean, the people with low voices. I saw this story on a homeless man that was like asking for money in the streets, and he would just like go up to cars and he would go like, listen to 99.7 FM or whatever, and they would give him money for that
Oh, is
because
that
he had that
the golden
amazing
voice guy?
radio voice. That's right. I don't know what his name is, but it
Yeah.
was just like he would have this voice that he knew it was amazing, and he would just go up to people because he was homeless, I guess. I mean, I know he was. So he would go up to people and just ask for money by performing the voice. And
I think he ended up
it
getting a
was just
job because of it.
amazing.
Yeah, I think he ended up getting a job.
I think so too. Yeah, on as a radio host or something.
He should. He had a really good voice. I've always
Yeah.
I've hated the sound of my own voice because it's like I have the bass and then it's like a gap. Like it's like my voice is like
Mm-hmm.
ducked and then right in that like annoying
Yeah.
nasally. So I have the nasal and the low. And if I could just take the nasal down, I would pay so much money to do that. If there's some form of
I
plastic
know.
surgery to just make my voice less nasally,
Who knows? Or
who
like
knows?
a plastic EQ you pay for,
An
and
EQ
they
you
just
put in your
EQ the
nose.
voice the way you want it. No, I hate my voice too. I'm not gonna listen back to this or watch this. I'm
That's
too
okay.
self-conscious.
I mean, the
Yeah,
only reason I couldn't before Like when I first started doing any type of stuff where I was talking, long before I started doing this, I couldn't, like, listening to it, like I just like in torture. So but it's
Yeah.
like one of those things that
This is
after
also not my native language, so that's why I can't. I listen to the mistakes, which I
Yeah.
know there's not many, but as soon as I hear a mistake, I'm like, oh, Jesus
Do you speak
Christ.
anything besides?
I can't.
Do you speak anything besides Croatian and English?
A little German.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? What can you say in German?
Yeah, I studied German for like 8 years, but I only know the dirty stuff, so I'm not gonna go in on that.
Why do you only know the dirty stuffs?
Because that's what you remember best.
So wait, did you
It's
learn
like
that
I
in a
know how to
class?
talk to people. Like I can say, well, not exactly, but you learn it on the side. You learn it from your friends. From the teachers, you learn the boring stuff, and from your friends, you
You
learn
learn
the
how to
fun
swear.
stuff that you remember. Yeah. No, I could say I'm hungry. Can you give me food or something? Like if I was like a hostage or something in Germany, I could get out of it with my German.
Wow, good for you. Well, let's hope
Yeah.
that doesn't
Yeah.
ever happen. I don't know why you would end up being a hostage in Germany, but let's hope it doesn't
I
happen.
don't know.
You never know. If World War
You never
III,
know.
like if all
That's
the
what
countries,
they told me in high school. Yeah.
that's what they told you in
They
high
told me in
school
high
that you're
school you
gonna.
have to be ready. They told me no. They told me you have to be ready for any kind of situation possible. So make sure your toolkit is as big as you can make it, because you never know what kind of situation life is gonna bring.
That's true.
So
Well, at this point,
if you were in,
what?
go.
No, there's just sorry. This is going from the internet going from here to Croatia has a little bit of a delay, so I don't mean
I
to be
know
interrupting you.
there's a delay.
I mean,
No,
it's
me
amazing
too.
that we can even
Go.
talk and see each other, on the, almost the other side of the world. It's crazy.
I know, and there's people watching. That's even crazier to me.
Yeah. Well, let's hope there's people watching.
Do we have any questions? Can you see how many people are watching right now?
Yeah, we have 7 concurrent. I don't know if that means it's my largest concurrent view or if it's the current concurrent, but let me see if we have any questions. Well, on the topic of people with good voices, Ian Miller said Sean Connery, of course. It's a shot for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I loved his what was that guy on SNL? Daryl Hammond he does a great Sean Connery for like you ever see those SNL skits where they do the Celebrity Jeopardy? You ever seen those?
Yeah, I've seen those.
And then Norm Macdonald does
there's one with Trump too, I think.
yeah, wait, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah. They did a bunch because Daryl Hammond is like one of my favorite SNL people. And I think his Trump impression is great. I think Alec Baldwin's is also great, but Daryl he was like the first person to do it, I think, really, really well. And he also did Sean Connery, and they did he did a bunch of stuff with Trump, I think, in like the 90s when he was on. But then they took him off for some reason. I think there's like some weird stuff about him going off. Like I don't think he wanted to leave.
Who knows?
And I don't know for sure. I know they did that for Norm. Norm got kicked off. I don't think Norm wanted to leave, but yeah, they took Norm Macdonald off around the same time.
I think Norm is incredibly underrated. I mean, when I found out about the guy, I was like, this guy is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he not more famous? Like there's comedians that are more famous that I'm like, you're not that funny.
Well,
but
there was
Norm Macdonald. Jesus, he's hilarious. I mean, he's dark though. He's like he goes to extremes, and I think that's why the public is like, I don't know if you want him on, because who knows what he's gonna say. But him on Conan, have you seen
incredible?
Those?
All of them. They're incredible.
Oh my God, incredible.
Yeah. The thing about Norm is someone said about Norm is Norm isn't a guy who says funny things. He says things funny. You get that? Like that's one of the most accurate statements, because he doesn't say funny things.
Oh yeah.
Like what he doesn't say, it's not like he has jokes. he just says something and extends it to the point where it's like a 10-minute long story that could have been in a 30 seconds. And that in and of itself makes it hilarious. And that's why, but I think
he's just naturally funny. He's just quirky and he's funny. That's why it works, I think.
Yeah, I read something about Norm that they had a problem with him because no one knows for sure. And I don't think he even does, if I remember correctly. But there was like some weird stuff as to why he got fired. But the thing that I heard that is like the most commonly cited thing is that he made a bunch of like OJ Simpson jokes during that whole time. And apparently something about like one of the executives at NBC or one of the higher up producers of SNL was friends with OJ, and so there might have been some like political stuff when it came to that, and that's why I kicked off. But that's just a conspiracy. I don't think anyone really knows for sure. But either way, Norm Macdonald, top notch comedian.
Definitely, I recommend it to everyone who's watching.
Everyone who's watching. Let's see if we have any more questions. I have some other questions I want to ask you, but let's see if anyone else has anything.
Yeah.
Let's see. Augie Bello, not gonna ask that. Dumbass. I'm sorry, I'm just bullying Augie Bello in the chat. I feel bad now. I love you, Augie Bello. I'm sorry. Let's see. I don't see any more questions. If I'm missing one, and if I missed a question, anyone just repeat it, because I may have just not seen it, and I'm not seeing it right now. But I was gonna ask, now that you've lived in New York, well, now you're in Croatia, but before the whole COVID situation, you lived in New York for what, like 3 years before that, right?
4 years.
4. Okay, 4 years.
Almost four. Almost 4.
How's the music scene in Croatia compared to, I guess, the city, but also just the United States in general, of what you've seen?
It's just tiny.
Really?
You know, tiny is the cause for so many other words that describe it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's tiny is the first and foremost problem, I would say. I mean, maybe not for people here, but a problem for me, because when you have a tiny music scene, I was actually thinking about this because I thought you might ask me this, but I left New York City because you can't, when you have a tiny music scene, this means, you know, a small amount of people that listen to your music. When you have a small amount of people, you have, you know, not a big income. But even more important, you don't have a diversity, like a musical diversity. You don't even have a chance for it because there's not enough people to go, you know, extreme. There's most of the music here is mainstream, and that's why if you want to be a part of the, you know, I'm afraid to say successful, but the known music scene, you have to go mainstream, and that's just the music. You're in a way controlled by music. You don't control the music. And I feel in the United States, the scene is so huge. Like you can go so alternative and so extreme, and you're still gonna have enough people who are gonna follow you on tour and just go see your shows, and you're gonna make a decent living out of it.
The States are fortunate to have those
like
niche ones.
You can make the music you want. Yeah, you can make the music you want. Like now I'm thinking about myself and my career. It's, you know, now it's kind of on hold for everybody. But the thing that I'm doing still is, you know, making music pretty much every day. And as soon as I find something that I don't like, I go, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, that's the freedom that you have when you're in the United States. It's also, you're not performing for the United States. If you're a performer in the States, you're performing for the whole wide world. Because the culture is so, it has such an impact that it's, the market basically switches to the whole world, which is, you know, amazing. But the scene here in Croatia, it's too tiny. It's
What's your mainstream music
too small for the kind of things I want to be doing.
What's the mainstream music like? What kind of genre would you describe it as?
Pop rock, I would say.
Hip. Who are some big
It's like
artists there?
we're still stuck in that kind of era.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say stuck. That's kind of mean, but we're still not. We didn't move on. We have some trap going on, to be honest, but it's still not mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Like trap in the States is pretty much mainstream, and hip
Mm-hmm.
hop here it's
Yeah.
not mainstream.
Really?
But the artists here, uh, I'm gonna pronounce them the way we pronounce them.
That's okay.
But
I
let's
can't promise I'll
say,
understand it, but do it the correct way.
yeah, Lana Jurčević, Severina. Uh,
If you asked me to
I don't
spell that, there
know.
is not a chance in hell that I'd get that even 80%
It's yeah,
correct.
it doesn't even matter. I'm just saying those are like the biggest female stars. I would say, and there's some guys who are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Gibboni, best one if you ask me, but that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest struggle nowadays trying to make music? Is it getting people to, you know, sing the song, or is it finding people who are the correct singer for whatever song you're trying to produce?
This is a question for me. I'm sorry, it broke
Yeah, no,
up for a
I'm
second.
asking this. I'm just asking this because you put out way more music than I do. So my question is like,
Yeah.
do you have more of a problem getting people in general to just agree to do it, or is it trying to find someone who will serve the song correctly?
Well, I don't have a huge spectrum of people I ask, to be honest, because I need to have people that I somewhat trust,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the people who I met. Usually, I don't work with people that I haven't met in person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever done that, but I'd like working with people that I trust, because you're not just giving someone a song, you're giving someone your song,
Yeah.
and that's just like your words, your way of saying things, your feelings, your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and your music, at the end of the day. So I do have like 5 or 6 singers that I always try to write the songs for,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. Like when I'm writing a song, I go, oh, Michael is gonna be great on this, or
Mm-hmm.
Maddie, or Safa, or there's a guy named Troy
Mm-hmm.
that I've started to work with, but it's like there's I think 4, 5, 6. I think I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not a huge spectrum.
Gotcha. Here, I think. Give me 1 second. YouTube is getting mad at me. Hey, if people are watching, let me know if you can see everything. I know that we had some downtime for a second while he was talking, but I think we're good now. Sorry, just before we continue, I want to make sure that we don't have we're actually streaming out, because I don't want to just talk to nobody. Let's see. Well, no one's responding. Well, if anyone wants to respond, let me know if you can see everything.
You want me to check? Do you want me to check?
I mean, you could. Yeah. I don't know why it's doing this.
Give me a sec.
This is what I hate about this.
Give me 1 sec. I'll check.
YouTube. Okay, there we go. We're good. We're good. They send an update every 2 minutes, I think.
Ask you.
What were we gonna ask? Got
it. How come you decided to do podcasts these days? I know, to everyone, Scotty's my good friend, and I've known him for what, 3 years now, or 2 years or something?
Yeah, just about 2 years.
And he's been doing so much stuff, from playing drums, producing, writing songs, and mixing, and playing video games and everything. And now he's doing podcasts. He's very versatile, is what I'm trying to say.
I'll tell you exactly
I'm just
why.
wondering, how do you you DJ too? That's what I forgot. You DJ too.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I was producing music.
Go.
Thank you. I was producing music, and then getting people to sing. That when you're in the city, it's much easier, because you can say, "Hey, come over to my house. We'll record a song." But I can't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
So getting people to agree to sing something, and then also at the level I am, where I'm not, I don't have the budget for, large singers. For the singers I know, a lot of them don't have mics, which blows my mind that like a singer wouldn't have like even like an SM57 or a, you know, like a Focusrite Scarlett, because they all have MacBook Pros. Every singer I know has got like a, you know, $2,800 MacBook Pro. I would, you know, I thought they'd spend like an extra $150 on a mic and an interface. Maybe I'm just being a little elitist. I don't know. But yeah, so I was like, man, I'm not getting music out as much as I want. Oh, YouTube, why are you giving me another error sign? Ugh, Lord. It's always as soon as I talk. YouTube doesn't want to hear me. He's not receiving enough video? What are you talking about? Ugh, I hate this software.
Oh, dude, I see you. You're on here.
Oh my Lord. But
yeah.
I'll continue and just, you know what? We'll just do this, and if there are parts that get messed up, I can cut them out of the replay. Scotty is the original Renaissance man. Thanks, Carl Taylor. So I was like, I want to do something where I could, you know, actually hopefully make some money. And then I was like, well, let me try doing DJing. Then the DJing, I got into it, and I was like, okay, got my business cards ready. I'm about to get started. Coronavirus happens. And then I got to this point where I'm like, I need to be doing something that I enjoy doing, that I can do on a regular basis that could also end up being a job. And so I was like, I enjoy talking on camera, but my interests, which is music and music production, are too niche to make a YouTube channel. So I did that for like, was like, I do that for fun. I will make YouTube videos, but I'm like, this probably won't be a job because of how niche it is. And I was like, but a podcast, I've got some great friends who are incredibly talented, and, you know, I can get people to talk. It's much easier to get people to go on a Zoom call than it is to record a song. And so I was like, well, maybe I could do that.
Definitely.
Because I enjoy talking on camera and I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, but I thought it would be easier to do that in terms of getting people to kind of go along with it than recording music. So that's where it is now.
It's fun. You know, I've never done this before. I've been on a Zoom call, and it feels exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's a Zoom call, but it just, you know, being on a podcast it's fun because there's no pressure.
Yeah.
People who are watching it, it's not like watching the, you know, presidential debate. It's like people just turn it on, you know.
I don't
need to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom. You don't. Yeah, that's right. I'm just saying people are just relaxing, drinking coffee right now, and just watching, and, you know, two guys talk. And I eventually am gonna. It's easier for the performers. I mean, us to do that because the pressure is not high.
Yeah, and eventually I'm gonna talking about drinking coffee. I'm gonna put a permanent coffee machine right on my desk, which will be part of the set, and then I can just, whenever I want, have some coffee. Because I think it's always more casual when people are eating or drinking, which is why
definitely
when things start to open up again, I want to, like, I have my camera here, which is what people are seeing me through, but I want to set up a table and turn it from being a zoomed in show to being something that I could actually bring people in and do a show right there. And when I do that, I definitely want to have a coffee machine and some nice cups, so we can be like sitting at a table, drinking our little cups, having a little conversation, having a little fun time.
No, you have the vibe chamber cups, mugs.
I do need to. I need to put the logo on it.
That's right.
I'm still trying to come up with that. Like, I feel like the vibe chamber needs lore before I can do it in person. Like, I feel like it needs to have like a mythical background to it. It can't just, like, you have to enter the vibe chamber, but it has to be like a special place. It has to be like a place of worship that just so happens to be where I sleep at the same time.
Yeah. Do you know how much opportunity there is with the name, the vibe chamber, like, to make the space? Dude, you have...
It's just, I just have to find the budget.
Is what I'm saying.
If I had a budget, I could make this place look really cool.
Sooner or later, it's gonna come around.
I just need to find a way to keep my stream going the whole time without crashing. Oh Lord.
That's not the internet. That's not on you, right? It's just
I don't know what it is. But honestly,
how come you're doing it live is what I'm asking.
Because it's way more fun.
I mean, it's more. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's really
But
it. Like,
is Joe Rogan even doing it live?
well, that was part of the reason I wanted to do it live because I watched I watched some Joe Rogan episodes, and but like I started watching him again recently, and he was pre-recorded, and I
Mm,
started thinking of doing. I wanted to start this podcast before I got back into Joe Rogan. I was kind of thinking about it over when I went back upstate to see my parents
mm,
during the first bit of the
mm-hmm.
coronavirus outbreak. Then I started thinking about doing this, and I was like, well, I could do it pre-recorded, and I was gonna do that. I was gonna put on my YouTube channel
Yeah,
on my YouTube channel under my name. And then I was like, I saw Joe
yeah.
Rogan stop doing it live, and I was like, I always like things that are live. I think it's more fun to watch. And I think it's more fun as for me, which is a big part of it. I want
It's
something that I enjoy to do, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Live is always like when I used to watch, I had a phase for like a month where I just watched gamers like
Yeah.
live streaming stuff.
It's
And it just you
fun.
just feel like a part of like you're a part of their thing right
Hmm.
now, and it's happening right there and right now, and it's I don't know, it's a better feeling when you're watching it, I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
performing it, I'm sure is the same thing, but
Hmm.
watching it is more fun.
And I always try like
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the chat heavily implemented because that was always because when I first heard of Rogan when he was doing live streams, he would never really interact with the chat, which I always thought was weird. Like the fact that he was live but would
Mm,
never like see. I guess maybe when you're at that
mhm,
level and there's like a million comments coming through and you have a guest, I'm sure it's
mm,
difficult, so I don't want to say anything. But I
yeah,
always think that's part of the fun part is, interacting with people watching and seeing what they have to say, and they can like ask questions and that kind of stuff. That's another reason I like doing the live bit is
yeah,
because of that interaction. But we'll see
yeah.
where it goes.
Let's see the
Um,
questions.
okay, let me see. I might have gone through them already, but I will see if we got some. Um,
Yeah.
we have some comments. Ian Miller, because I think we were talking about music in Croatia. He said the government here in the UK has told musicians that they should uh, retrain because of COVID. Is the government retrain? Or is that refrain? Retrain because of COVID. Is the government in Croatia more supportive towards musicians? Oh, I get what he's saying. He's saying like they should basically learn something new. Is that what you're saying, Ian? Is that what the government's trying to say? Like find a new job?
Yeah, I know they're giving people some money. I know they're giving musicians, even like the proclaimed freelance musicians. I know they're paying them a certain amount of money a month because, people have to eat. But I don't know if they were as direct as retrain. I don't think that anyone ever said that, but it's I think now is the time when musicians are like, wow, I need to know so much stuff that I have no idea about,
Yeah, that's
because from producing, from teaching, from so much online stuff that people have no idea about, like people who are 50, 60 and have been successful musicians for their lifetime. Now they're
mhm.
like, we have to learn something new. And I
Yeah.
think, as depressing and shocking that is, I think we're going to come out of this so much more creative. And I think so many more, uh, I mean, not more, but so many different jobs are going to come out of this, just
Hmm.
like on the surface, because there's market for everything,
Yeah.
especially if you're online. I mean,
Hmm.
then your market is the world. So
Yeah, that's another
you can
reason
just
I
do
did
whatever you
this.
want.
That's the reason I'm doing it like we're doing it now. Is just because I can do this from my house and people can just zoom in. There's no worry about like, oh, you got to get screened first, and
Yeah.
there's no there's really no
Yeah.
like issue with it in terms of getting people.
Yeah.
Here we do have a
Yeah.
question that I totally just missed. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. It's from Okamabach, great friend of mine. He says, "Do you guys know of the
Mm.
band Clowncore?" Sorry if you already answered. I had to leave. Clowncore. I do not know Clowncore. I can look them up.
I don't know Clowncore.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Clown.
I've not heard of them.
Let's do this. Let's go over
Let me see
Clowncore.
your screen.
Can you see it, or is it paused for you? Oh my
I
lord.
can see it. Clowncore.
Oh
Maybe we should know about these.
my lord. This is a little scary. Hey, wait, did I mute myself? Okay, now I'm good. Let's go here. I don't know how much. Let's see. Aesthetics.com. Oh, wait. Is that Animal Crossing? What the? Why is there Jeez, Lou. Come on. Go back. Go back. Go back. There we go. No, not Norm McDonald. Oh, Lord. Now we're on Norm McDonald.
There he is.
Clowncore. I'm trying to find a way I can show them. Let me just do this. Let's hit them with a mute, a quick mute. So that way, oh my gosh.
Oh. Maybe we should know these guys.
I think we definitely should know these guys. Wow. This is incredible. Oh my lord.
This is just 2 guys?
Yeah, I wonder if I'll get demonetized or taken off if I do this, but...
Don't you ever turn my pizza inside out?
Can you hear this?
Yes.
Oh my god. I don't know if this will get taken down, so I don't want to play more of the audio. Okamabak. What is this? Oh, it's Adult Swim. I think I saw that, but it didn't register correctly. It's Adult Swim. That's what it is. Is this like some... Oh my... Oh, what? Oh god!
Yeah, this is...
What is going on? Is there more? There's another one. Let's watch the other one. I guess they're always in the what's it called? Oh my lord. Augie Bello keeps texting me. What? Augie Bello, type in the chat what you're trying to say. I don't get it. He's typing me in all caps. Oh, it's Lewis Cole? Wait.
It's Louis.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's good. Hey, wait, we're getting a call. We're getting a call. One moment. Augie Bello, you are on the air.
Hi, I just, yeah, that's me and Lewis Cole.
That's you and Lewis Cole.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that clear, but enjoy, keep going.
Is that it? You just wanted to say that?
That's it. And OrangeBananas, I'm your biggest fan.
Wait, who is actually
Love
playing
you,
sax?
Augie. Love you.
It's the guy who plays with Lewis Cole. So if you ever check out Noah Music, it's that guy from Noah Music and Lewis Cole.
I thought Nowhere Music was just him and the singer.
No, it's so. Maybe, but there's also Sam Wilkes, and then there's that keyboard player, and if you check out Nowhere, like this guy is the sax player for Nowhere, and you can tell because he's got that same sax, and he puts that. I don't know. It's like I guess he was ahead of his time. He put a like face mask over his saxophone. So,
well, it's very hip. It's very unique.
Yeah, so he was way before his time, like Michael Jackson with face masks, you know. But I'll let you get back to it.
Okay, thank you, Augie Bello. Ladies and gentlemen, calling in Augie Bello. I gotta hook up.
You should implement the calls. I love that.
Yeah, I should do that. You know what I found out? Every time I show you my screen, YouTube gets mad at me. They're like, "Sorry, we're not receiving enough video." I don't know why it's doing that, but I guess
that's fine.
I'm gonna have to stop showing you my screen right now. It's just not like that. YouTube is not happy.
That's fine, dude. I'm watching the whole thing on here.
Okay.
On my data, so I can see what's going on. I can see the comments and stuff.
I got a question for you. This is one that I genuinely want to know because I've asked my previous two guests, Augie Bello, as we just heard from, and George Collins, are both known for their Instagrams, and so are you. And I've asked them this question, and I'm going to ask you, what was it that got you into Instagram? And did you think of it when you started as being a potential business thing, or was it just a creative venture?
Well, I didn't really get into it by myself. The reason I started posting videos is my good friend who was just on the phone, Augie Bello. So he started making videos because he saw someone doing it, and he was like, "Oh, I like this. I'm gonna do it." And it doesn't seem that hard to get a following, right? You just have to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Yeah, I don't, I don't enjoy it 100%, but I'm down to try." Right? So we made some videos that weren't, too successful, and then we made this video, and it started being more fun as we went along. Like as soon as we learned how we work with each other and how are we most productive, the making of the videos started, like it was a source of great fun, right? So we made this video, and I think people could see that in the videos that we were just messing around
Goofing
and having
around.
fun. Yeah, and then just we made one that we don't call, but a song called Candy came out of it, which was it starts off with Augie saying put some
Pepperoni on it.
he's ordering a pizza and he wants
For some
pepperoni
reason.
on it, and he's like on the phone. Yeah, and that's when the phone became the thing, because it was just in the room we were recording it, and so the phone became a part of the shtick. Right, and then it got 100,000 views or 120,000 views, and I was like, damn, like we're actually gaining some following. I mean, he was way before me, and then because of him I gained a following, and then I kind of tagged along, to be honest. It's not, I know people are gonna hate me for this, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I love producing it and writing music way more than making Instagram videos. But sometimes you just have to do it, because I think the listens that I have on Spotify, on songs that I write and record and produce, is mostly because of Instagram. Even though I have found out that the songs that I believe are good are, hitting hardest. It just, I think in the end, Instagram is a good way. I mean, having a following is a good way to put it out there for the people, like to give it the first push. But how far it's going to go, I think it solely reflects the quality of the song.
It's on its own merit.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I might be wrong, and I still think you need a label to be world famous and famous
Interesting
enough
take.
to. Yeah, I think you need a label. I also think it's way harder than doing it on your own, because you have to find the balance between like the music you want to put out and the music they want you to put out. So it's like weird in a way, but I think you can't be incredibly successful without it. But I might be wrong. There's many people who have done it.
Yeah, I think Chance is still Chance the Rapper is still unsigned. I don't know many names of people who are. I mean, I know there's always a bunch of people who are successful without a label, but I don't know people who are at Chance the Rapper level without one. And I think he's been unsigned for his.
I think he's the most. Yeah, I think he's the most successful guy without a label. Yeah, most successful artist without a label.
Yeah, no, he's 100% because he's also really talented. You know what I don't? Yeah. Here's the thing I don't get about Chance, right? When he first started making music, everyone loved his style, right? And now all I see is people just being awful to him because he put out one album that people don't like, and now they're just miserable about it forever. Yeah. It's weird to me. Have you noticed that? Like, I don't know how.
I just think it's the internet, to be honest. I don't follow that. Like, I don't follow the comments that much, but I think the internet is just, especially now when I think the usage of internet went up 200 million% since Corona. I think people are just being mean for no reason.
They're being absolutely miserable.
They just have fun, you know. Yeah. That's what the internet is for, to have fun.
You know what though? Because I know Chance. I'm not personally. I'm like, I know his music. I'm not like the biggest Chance the Rapper. Like I can't name all of his songs, but I was like, so he put out an album that people don't like. Like, that doesn't mean he's awful forever. Now it seems like anytime he does anything that isn't like, it's like now he has that chip on his shoulder that like anytime I've seen that he does something that people like are a little they don't love, they immediately just hate it now because he's the guy who put out, he's the guy, the I love my wife type guy, which is just that whole thing because he talked about, which I think is so ridiculous. You make an album, talk about how you love your wife, and now you're immediately a loser. People are so ridiculous.
I don't know. It's weird times, if I'm being honest. But what I thought about before this, I thought about a couple of things. That's why I actually like that you invited me to this podcast, because I thought a bunch about things that I haven't thought about in a while. And that's how music careers go for people. Usually it's never the same. It's never the same for anyone, but I feel like there's two ways you can go. You can be like Green Day, which is you start alternative, right? You're this punk, whatever rock band, and then you go mainstream because, you're under a label and they want you to, or you start mainstream, and that's if you don't have a label. I think you have to be somewhat mainstream in order for people to notice you, and then you go alternative like Chance did, I think, because he's not that, like the music got more out, if you ask me, than it was in the beginning.
Yeah, I always thought he had a hip style though. I always liked it. It was never like a thing that I would sit down and listen to a ton, but every time I heard it, I was like, it's like one of those, those people where you don't listen to them that much, and then every time you hear them, you go, why don't I listen to them? That was like that was Chance the Rapper for me. And it's like a big thing I noticed, especially on the internet, is that people will just, especially, they do this when it comes to liking things, but especially when it comes to hating things, people will just, if they see that two people hate something, the third person will hate it. And then the fourth, and then the fifth. And they don't even know why they hate it. Like, okay, I will say this publicly. Yo, Sean is in the chat. Sorry, I just got
excited. Sean. What's up, Sean?
Oh, my Lord. But I'm going to say this publicly. I don't hate Nickelback, okay? That's like a political statement. That is like coming on here and saying, I support blah, blah, blah. That's what that is on the internet. Because for some reason, out of all of the bands that make music that occasionally is not the best, even though that's just freaking everybody. Everyone makes music that isn't the best sometimes, okay? We're human beings. Nickelback just got singled out, and they're just like trashed. But I used to Nickelback has some great albums, and I used to listen to them. And now it's like the internet just decided like, oh yeah, those are the guys that do this, and then blah blah blah, and then like it blows up, and now they're just like oh, you like Nickelback? Really? What's wrong with you?
I before I say anything, I want to say I miss you too, Sean. I see what you wrote.
Sean says he's been here.
I think he has to leave.
Well, he says, I'm here for 5 seconds and Scotty is already acting sus. I'm not acting sus. I don't think Nickelback is bad. Of course, they have some bad songs, and Dark Horse was the first album of theirs that they put out where I was like, this is not my favorite. but I went to go see them live, and I will say that it was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was a great show. Like, we left that show going like, wow, that was worth the money. I didn't just go sit.
Yeah.
Because, you spend $80 to see Nickelback, or you spend $60 and you listen to a band that hasn't rehearsed in a club, and then you spend an extra $30 because there's a drink minimum. That's all I'm going to say. Hot take of the century. Now I'm just trying to piss people off.
You know what the song is? When I first heard Since You've Been Gone, like Kelly Clarkson.
Since you've been gone.
It was like as soon as you hear that bling, 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 that annoying guitar in the beginning, I'm like, oh, this is just another Nickelback song. You know what I mean? Or like a Green Day pop.
I like that song.
World hit song.
I like that song.
And then the whole song goes by, and I was like, Jesus, this is good.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing. Like the guitar riff and the modulation in the end, and like the melody and everything. It's amazing. And guess who it was made by?
Was it by Chad Kroeger? No, it was wait. Don't tell me. Is it someone who's already famous? Sorry, Sean, can you drop a Nickelback RuneScape music video? I probably would have a decade ago. Let me think. Is it like a famous songwriter? Okay, just say it.
Max Martin.
That makes sense. Did he write it too, or just produced it?
I think it was Max. Yeah, I think it was Max Martin and Dr. Luke. I think it was the two of them.
I mean, those guys were huge it's back in that era. Yeah, it's a fantastic song.
It was like 2008 or 2010. I don't know what the year is, but
it was pretty soon after her whole American Idol thing. I remember. I think I watched her on American Idol because my family was big into that show, and that was in its heyday. And I think, was I old enough to have seen her on that? I think so, because I remember her, and then I remember the year with that David Archuleta, who ended up being on iCarly. Do you remember that? He did. Do you ever watch iCarly? Did you have Nickelodeon in Croatia?
We do. I just never watched that thing.
See, that was a big.
I don't think I've ever watched it.
You weren't a big like children's TV fan.
No, I just loved SpongeBob.
SpongeBob's like that one show that anyone from anywhere is like, oh yeah, SpongeBob. Everyone loves it. It's incredible.
Because it's great. Because it's funny, and there's nothing wrong about it. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's perfect.
It's perfect. Like the theme, the characters, the stories, everything is just perfect.
Did I ever tell you that my favorite joke from SpongeBob? Because like last summer, Valerio, my roommate, and I were like wanted to rewatch SpongeBob just because why not? And there's this one joke where SpongeBob is like they're on a pirate ship with Mr. Krabs, Patrick, and SpongeBob's like steering, and they crash, and they crash in this mountain, and there's a hole in the boat. And Mr. Krabs goes, SpongeBob, status report. And SpongeBob just goes, the whole ship is underwater, sir. And that's just like, I never would have caught that. I guess I was a dumbass kid. I never would have caught that when I was a kid. But as a 21-year-old man, I was laughing my ass off at a show made for kids 20 years ago. That's how you know it's good.
Oh yeah, there's so many jokes that you don't get when you're a kid. And then you're rewatching it. I have cousins that are 3 and 5 now, or like 4 and 6. I have 4 and 5. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But we watch cartoons together, and it's like, how did I not like? There's so much I didn't get in these cartoons because they're so good. Like it's funny to kids and it's funny to adults, and that's like, how do you find that perfect spot of humor that it's funny to both? And it's just like so many cartoons, including SpongeBob, find that thing, and it's just like incredible.
Don't you kind of think that like the kids nowadays are gonna they're gonna know I don't think they're going to be as naive as we were. Like, I mean, there are kids who are going to grow up listening to like WAP. So like those kids are gonna they're gonna know a lot more than we did, because we had some edgy music back in the early 2000s, but like it's just, I think there's nowadays, especially the internet,
kids are way more exposed.
Kids are also smarter now
to things they shouldn't. Yeah, because of this, because of phones and computers. It's just like they just can take in so much more information so much quicker. It's also because it's so accessible, like all the information, and it's also the content they shouldn't see until they're
there's a lot of
in the States.
Well, I think it's going to change. I think it's just the overall opinion on what kids are supposed to, like what it's okay for a kid to see is going to change. I think it's just going to become like uncensored music is going to become, it already kind of is. Like I didn't have any uncensored music, especially on the radio. I had no Sirius XM. I couldn't stream music, so everything was censored. But now that I think music is sort of, it's the common thing that when you release a music video, it's uncensored. So I think if that's just going to become normal, it won't become like this thing of, oh, the kids are listening to dirty music. The dirty music is just going to become a regular thing, and no one's going to think about it.
Yeah, but is that good for kids?
It might be just neutral, I mean, it might be, but here's the thing: when it comes to like, I guess whether or not your kid should be exposed to explicit things that's a moral decision. So it's totally subjective. So I guess like, is that good is more like, depends on who you ask. Cause I'm sure that, dear God, what was it? Al Gore's wife over Prince, was it Madonna or Prince? I think, started the whole explicit lyrics box. Cause there was a period of time where we didn't even have that. And I think it was Al Gore's wife, because it was like something about she tied like religion into it, like it was anti-Christian because it was explicit or something like that. But she's the reason that explicit music happens. So I think like however you're raised, if you're raised, especially if you're raised religiously, you're probably going to be more opposed than someone who's like, in a city. Because I see, kids walking around New York City, how that they're going to hear everything. No one censors themselves in the city.
That's what I was thinking about when I first saw, sex shops in New York City. Yeah. It's like, there's moms walking with their kids. The kid goes, Mommy, what is that for? And what does the mom
What do you say?
Does she, what do you say to that? Sex shops here are like in a dark alley, like where no one goes, and there's a sign that says sex shop, but it's Do you know where a sex shop in New York City is? Inside.
It's right next to Papaya Dog.
That's right, and $1 pizza.
Yeah, there's a $1
right
pizza
next to it. And,
Mommy, can we go get pizza? Oh, what's that?
And it like the window. What do you? Jesus Christ! I can't come up with a
like
term.
where they put like the models and stuff. The my
store
Lord.
Window. What do you
Storefront? I guess I don't know.
A storefront. Yeah,
I can't think of a better name.
The storefront is so explicit, like it's so exposed. Here in Europe, I've never seen a sex shop like that in Europe. Like you see, it's like a casino, right? You can't see inside. You can just see what it says on the outside, but there's like a thing that's covering it, right? In New York City, it's like, Jesus Christ. It's like kids see this, and like by the time they're 8, they know what everything is for in the sex shop. And it's like
this just became conservative radio. I think that's what just happened. We're just like, these damn kids and the sex shops and the rap music.
I don't even mind it. Like,
no, I don't mind it at all.
Kid.
It's just
like I've learned so much stuff that I shouldn't have learned way ahead of time. I grew up in a city, not New York City, but in a city.
I went to New Orleans.
I don't mind it. I'm just wondering how is it different in New York City, because it's just like a 10 levels up from I think Europe.
Well, I went to New Orleans when I was a little kid, and New Orleans is next level. Like New Orleans is next level. And so they had how do I say this in a way that they had phallic plastic phalluses attached to chains.
All right.
And they were like a necklace.
People get it.
Yes. But they were skin colored. You know, you could get your skin tone. So it wasn't like meant to look cartoony. It was meant to look real. And I was like 8. And I didn't know what it was. And I remember just going up and just like grabbing it and being like, but what is this? And then I just remember my dad going, stop, let go, come back here, go back here. And then I remember looking at it as soon as I saw it, because my dad I think got a kick out of that kind of stuff. And as soon as I saw he was like smirking a little bit, my 8-year-old brain like advanced a decade. And I went, oh, that's what that is. Okay. And that stuck in my memory forever. Yeah. That's right. But I don't think
that's why I think Europe is I wouldn't say better, but not talking about sex stuff and sex shops, but I think so much things that might be a little too much for a normal human being.
Don't you have like naked commercials though?
On the way to Europe.
Don't you have commercials where there's just like naked women? Isn't that like a European stereotype though?
Not so much. I mean, we have a lot of movies that are explicit, and we don't really have the ratings you guys have. Like when I came to the States, it was like rated R, rated 13. I was like, what does all that mean? I've never heard of those things. Because we have we have ratings that are 6, 12, and 18, I think. Like there's no.
Do you have like limits on those ratings? So like in the States, you can't go see an R movie unless you're 16, I think, or 18, something.
No, they let you in.
They'll let you in. It's just like basically like a guideline. Yeah.
Yeah, they let you in. They don't. I mean, we don't really have. I think it says 15. That's the only rating, or 18. I don't really know, but they let you in. I remember being 13, and there was like a horror movie that included, I think you could see boobs or something.
Breasts.
We were like 12 or 13, and we're like, oh my god, let's go and see this. And they just let us in. They just want to sell the tickets. So they're like, yeah, sure. We don't care.
How would you say I would like to go see this naked movie in Croatian?
A naked movie. How would I translate that? Želim vidjeti film s golim ženama.
That's a gorgeous way to say it.
It's very dirty language, I have to say. The R's and the T's and everything. Very aggressive.
I'm learning Italian right now, and I can barely speak that, but I really enjoy it. I like those romance languages. I don't know if Croatian counts as a romance language, though.
Definitely not.
It's like a bromance language.
A bromance, I guess you could say so, but no, romance, definitely not. It's like Russian, but less crazy. Russian, whatever you say in Russian is like you're a murderer. Here, not so much.
Yeah, that's true. There are some languages that are like quite scary sounding. I like those though. They're cool. Like it's a different. Like I really like beautiful sounding languages, but there isn't. Yeah. For the more like I guess harsh languages, there is something. They're very interesting sounding. I like them. I like language a lot. That's the thing. I really enjoy different languages. My ear for picking up them is so incredibly bad. So like I appreciate them so much, and I think they're cool. But like if I could. Like I said, I'm learning Italian. It'll take me years before I can actually speak like a coherent sentence, because my brain just does not work like that. Italy. Yeah,
you just have to go to Italy. That's what I'm saying. When I moved to New York, I mean, my English polished up like 50%.
Well, you've been speaking English since you were little, right?
Forced. Yeah, kind of. But because of my family and TV shows here are in English. And movies are in English, so you
really
just kind of watch. I used to watch Friends Yeah, most of them. Yeah, we don't have many Croatian movies. We have some.
I would never would have thought about that. I would have thought they were in Croatian.
Yeah, the TV is in English. Like all the content on TV is basically in English, so you kind of learn all that stuff.
Is that annoying?
And then I used to watch Friends and then learn phrases. That's where I learned the phrases. It's from Friends and like all the sitcoms.
Yeah. Is that annoying is it annoying that you can't watch TV in your own language?
No. Honestly, no, because it's I prefer American movies. I mean, not necessarily American, but I prefer foreign movies. So not for me, but I could see how some people find it annoying, like an old lady. Like she wants to watch an old like a Croatian movie and it's like never on.
What are the movies in Croatia like?
Annoying that could be.
Do you guys have like a Croatian version of Hollywood?
No, definitely not. It's again, same as the music scene. It's tiny. So like the diversity is not here. Like I don't remember seeing a comedy in a long time. Like I there's a comedy movie that's like funny and it's 60 years old or something. Like
that's your most recent comedy
movies. We just have it's like we have dramas and thrillers and stuff like that, but we don't have war movies. We have war movies that are most famous because of wars.
Excuse me.
People talk about that all the time. Bless you. But
Corona.
No, it's not. There's no such thing as Hollywood in Croatia.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully you can come back here soon enough, and we can watch some American movies together. Some good old-fashioned Hollywood.
And drink Utica coffee. That's what I
drink. Utica coffee. Hey, shout out Utica coffee. If anyone's listening, check them out. They're absolutely incredible. Best thing that Utica, New York has ever done besides chicken riggies. Best thing ever. Okay. Well, Mr. Orange Bananas, I hope we can get you actually into this apartment soon enough. I hope you stay safe over there in Croatia. And as soon as you come back, we're going to drink some Utica coffee, and we're going to we'll play some SmackDown versus Raw and Smash Bros. Does that sound like a plan?
Yep.
Oh,
definitely.
I miss those times.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast. I've never done this, and I hope I could do it again with someone else.
I do it again.
Have the same guest twice.
All over again. Shout out! I do it again, featuring Maddie T. No, definitely. I'm gonna have repeat guests. You kidding me? I don't know if I have one more after this that is 100% planned. 2 people have agreed, and they're just I don't have dates for them yet. But after that,
I can see you having so many guests because it's fun. It's like it's not hard to do this. It's what you said before. It's not
just
hard.
log into a Zoom call and just
go on and talk.
Listen to me ramble for a couple hours and then call it a day. But I would say thank you so much to you, of course, and to everyone who watched. Stay safe out there. Stay safe in Croatia. Love to your family. And to everyone who's watching, just thank you so much. I appreciate it. The replay is going to be up in a couple hours. YouTube has got to process all this stuff. YouTube's a pain in the butt, so you can either watch it right now and then it'll probably go down for a couple hours or something. I don't know what YouTube's going to do. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day. I'll see you next time.
Wow.